Hello, Bible scholars. Happy Friday. Merry Christmas, or at least we're getting close. Welcome back to Oops, It's a Bible Channel. Oops, because nothing says, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel quite like that does. I am your fellow student, Leah Nicole, and today we're going to be talking about in the New Testament, the events that led up directly to Jesus' birth. This is part 2 of my Big Picture Christmas series. The idea is we're going to just be talking about more than just the stories we normally talk about during Christmas time, because there's more around it. Last week we talked about the prophecies in the Old Testament, and this week we're going to be talking about all of the events leading up to Jesus' birth. Which, interestingly enough, and I didn't know this before I did my research for this video, the birth of Jesus is only recorded in Matthew and Luke. It's not in John or Mark. I don't know why I did that out of order, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So I'm going to do something a little bit different than I normally do on this channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the birth of Jesus. I'm going to be telling it more like a story than anything else. And I'm going to have the references for the parts that I'm talking about up here like the entire time. So, we're going to get started. We're starting in Luke chapter 1. Most of the time, people start in Luke chapter 2. But we're going to start in Luke chapter 1, and we're going to start in verse 5. Now, there is a Levite, a priest named Zechariah, who is invited to do a sacrifice at the temple. And an angel appears to him and tells him that him and his wife, Elizabeth, are going to have a child. What's crazy about this is that they're both older and neither of them had children, which is an interesting reflection of the story of Abraham and Sarah. But Zechariah doesn't believe this angel, and so because he doesn't trust what God said to him, he is mute. Just a while later, Elizabeth is pregnant. So then we jump over to Nazareth to see Elizabeth's cousin, Mary. Now, Mary is a teenage girl, probably about 15-ish, maybe? Somewhere between 14 and, 17. It's a big range. But she's on the younger side, and she is engaged to be married to a man named Joseph. And one day, an angel comes to her and tells her that she's going to have a son. He begins by saying that she has been given a cool special privilege to bear the Messiah, and she's going to have a son, and his name will be Jesus, not Joseph. And obviously Mary is like, how? I'm not married. I am a virgin. But then the angel tells her that the baby is going to be born of the Spirit, and God obviously does miraculous things all the time, so it's not impossible for that to happen. And then Mary goes and visits Elizabeth, her cousin, and the baby in Elizabeth's womb starts jumping for joy when he hears Mary's voice. And then Elizabeth is basically like, oh, you're carrying the Messiah, aren't you? And Mary's like, yeah. And so they both start praising God. Specifically, Mary has a beautiful song in these verses. And then 3 months later, she heads back to her own home. Mary does, and now she's showing, probably because she's 3 months in, so she's going to be showing at least a little bit. And so now she's going to be facing all kinds of gossip about her and ridicule and judgment for very obvious reasons. And I'm not entirely sure when this happens, but Joseph, Mary's betrothed, is seriously considering not marrying her and calling off the engagement. But an angel comes to Joseph, the same one that came to Mary, and tells him that it's okay. The baby that she is carrying is from the Lord, and Joseph trusts that, and Mary. The baby that Elizabeth was carrying is John the Baptist. Zechariah has a cool thing where he names John, even though nobody in his family is named John, and he speaks again, and he praises God. That's like the first thing that he does with his new ability to speak, and that's awesome. Then there is a census taken throughout all of probably the Roman world. I think it says all the world. Since Joseph, who's married to Mary, is from the line of David. My last video, I talked about how the Messiah would come from the line of David. But since he's from that line, he's going to the city of David, which is Bethlehem. So they're traveling to Bethlehem. And and Mary is like big pregnant. Like her due date is like super close. And so they travel to Bethlehem. And they get registered for the census and stuff, and they're trying to find somewhere to stay. And the place where they're going to stay at, presumably, there's no room in the inn, and Mary is, like, about to pop. Like, she's about to go into labor. But there's no room for them in the inn, which, inn wasn't like we think of it today. It wasn't like a hotel, most likely, at least. I think, in Hebrew translates to spare room. So they probably knew someone who was going to let them stay in their extra room, or they were going to rent a room for a couple nights from somebody, but then it was full, and there was no more room for them. But this person let them stay in their stable with their animals, and that's where Jesus is born. It doesn't mention anybody else, so it very well could have just been Mary and Joseph. Mary might not have had her mom with her to help her, or like nurses or midwives or anything, which would have sucked. But yeah, and so most likely this probably wasn't a silent night because, there's birthing happening with animals surrounding you. So Joseph was probably very stressed out. It was not all calm, most likely. Though, Holy Night, yes. So Mary wraps Jesus up and puts him in a manger. Now you know that part probably. A manger is where the animal's food would be in the stable. Now, the interesting thing is it most likely wasn't wood. It was probably made of stone. But still, Jesus was all wrapped up and put on top of some hay to keep him warm. And he probably actually did cry. Nice try away in a manger. He definitely cried because he was a baby who was just born. And if he wasn't crying, there's probably something wrong. Anyways. So remember, this Christmas, focus on Jesus. He is the whole reason that we have this season. Jesus is a gift from God, the best gift. I'm sure you've heard these things before. Probably. I'm probably not saying anything you've never heard before. But anyways, this season is a time to be, again, focused on Jesus and the fact that he came to earth for us. And not just to be thinking about his birth, though, but also about his sacrifice for us on the cross, because it's all connected, really. If you have another Bible story you'd want me to talk about, or you have, like, a point I didn't make, then go ahead and comment those down there so I can either make a video about what you're asking me about, or other people can hear the point that you're making. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, go ahead and click like so I know that you enjoyed the video, and then go ahead and subscribe so that you can always know when more videos are coming. Same with the notification bell. Go ahead and make sure that notifications are on. That way, in case I post outside of just my normal Fridays, you still can see them and not be late to watch them. If you know somebody who would enjoy this video, share it with them so that they can see this kind of thing as well. God bless you all. Have a great Christmas. Have a great Christmas. God bless you all. And remember to just focus on Jesus and read your Bibles.